Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This segment is gonna be part 2 about the tips and advice regarding getting accepted to college or university. So the first part I talk about how, like, when you get accepted, that you're gonna have to do and things that you have to research. And this part is just gonna be more in-depth in terms of financial aid and housing. These informations are informations from experience and stuff, so it's probably different, depends on where you live, which state you live in the United States, or which country you live, you know what I mean? So in terms of, I will start with financial aid. In terms of financial aid, always apply for the FAFSA and stuff. And I know a lot of people is like, oh, I'm not gonna get that much of money, or it's either my parents make a lot of money, or I can't get my parents' approval. There's a way that you can apply for the FAFSA without having your parents as like a co-signer and stuff. So research about it and get some information. Always apply for the FAFSA, because the FAFSA is basically free help, in terms of, it can be loans, it can be grants, which you don't have to pay back. They don't offer scholarship in the FAFSA. You're gonna have to apply scholarship outside of the FAFSA and stuff. So your school provides you scholarships, the high school that you went provides you scholarships, and also there's also other places where you can get some scholarships. But for financial aid, first is, like I said before, you still have to communicate with them. Trust me, you probably will talk to financial aid more than you probably will talk to your professors. Yes, okay, hopefully that doesn't happen, because that's horrible, but sometimes that's gonna happen, okay? Because it's either they don't reply fast, or it's either that they're telling you missing some document where you have to, go to the office and give it to them, or you have to sign some paper and stuff, or you need an extra loan. There's a time where I had to take a private loan, and that can happen. So you have to kind of talk to financial aid and discuss that. When it comes to the university that you go in, the thing about like colleges and universities and stuff, they have so many different offices. Every office kind of like does different things. Like you have, student account. I mean, they can tell you how much money you have in your account. They can tell you your balance. They can tell you certain things, but they can't do that much. Like, they can't tell you that much. They usually probably like, oh, just go to the financial aid office if you want to get more information regarding your financial aid status or eligibility, or regarding like your awards, regarding what you receive, or if you receive loans or grant or whatever. So you have the registrar office. The registrar office is basically like if you want to change your major, if you want to withdraw a class, if you want to add or drop a class. Usually you could do that online though. But if you want to apply for graduation, if you want to do things like that, you have to go to the registrar office. You have office for like parking and stuff. You could get a parking ticket from parking somewhere that you're not supposed to park on campus and stuff. You have to go over here to pay your ticket. Like, there's different office. When you go, you will learn all these stuff, you know what I mean? At first, it's just gonna be not confusing, but just like where to go. You're gonna have to constantly ask people like, oh, where do I have to go to do these things? And they'll probably like, oh, go to registrar office, or go to student account, or go to financial aid office or something. Yeah, but focus on financial aid. So financial aid, once you apply for your FAFSA, once you apply for your FAFSA, you will have awards, things that they will give you in terms, like they will give you grants, they will give you loans. Hopefully they give you more grants than loans. You have to kind of like, for example, if your school is $10,000, I know, like really, But if your school is $10,000, say you get $15,000 or $12,000 of financial aid. Say you get $5,000 or $10,000 of grants. They have different type of grants. And say you get I don't know, $6,000 or loans. So 5 plus 6 is 11. And if your school is 10,000, that means you have 1,000 left. Usually they will give you a refund check of that $1,000. So what happened is you can decline that refund check. I know a lot of people is like, no, I ain't doing that because it's money. Well, girl, that's what's gonna happen to you. Well, boy, that's what's gonna happen to you. You get that refund check. That means that when you're done with school, you're still gonna have loans. So, or you could just give that $1,000 back. Tell them that no, I don't want any refund check. Okay, I'm just gonna, instead of taking $6,000 of loans, I want to take $5,000 of loans. So it meets the requirement of my school balance. So I don't owe anything. I'm good. But at the same time, I don't need that $1,000. So when I'm paying back, I'm only paying $5,000. Plus, remember, when you pay loans, you have to pay with interest. So when you start paying, you don't automatically attacking the $5,000. You will gonna pay interest. When you pay interest, depends on the type of loans. They have different type of loans. If you want me to go more in details in different type of loans, I'm gonna have to do another video because there's so many different type of loans. So yeah, you will have different type of loans. Depends on the loans. They could have 1%, 2%, 3%, this percent, or 1%. Every loan have different type of percentage. So that percentage of interest, you're gonna have to start paying it first before you attack the loan. So you kind of have to keep in mind and think about stuff like that. And you only have like 6 months or a little bit more for you to start paying the loans after graduating, or after, if you quit school or college or whatever, after you're done quitting or you stop going to school, whatever, you're gonna start paying 6 months after. So if you don't have a job, so you have to keep in mind about all these things and stuff. I know sometimes we plan ahead, we have high expectation of how our life gonna be in 2-3 years, but sometimes it doesn't come out the way we think it should. So you should plan for the worst. Okay, so I feel like if you, for example, you struggling, you need a car and transportation to go other places, or like your internship or whatever, you like, oh my gosh, I need to have a car because I need to make some money to do this or that. Yeah, maybe you could just use that money to get a car, and use that money to get a car, and while you're working, you could save that money, so when you're done, you have that money to give back. You know what I mean? This is all about you, okay? This is what you want to do. So I'm just telling you, options that you have. Anyway, so private loans does not apply to FAFSA. FAFSA, it's more like, so they're using the government funding to give it to you. The earlier you apply to FAFSA, the more likely you have more money available to you, because if you apply late, obviously they already distribute all the money to other people and stuff. Parents, the less money that your parents make, the more money they will give to you, because they're like, okay, you're in a position where your parents can really take care of you. You can't take care of yourself, so you're gonna need that money to pay for school, because obviously you can't afford it. So, and also you don't want to lie, because IRS is gonna come back to you, gonna contact you, trying to find what's going on. FAFSA do this thing where each year, I think they do it, where it's kind of like, it's called like something selection, where they select a group of people and they like really dig deep into like what they say. Because when you fill out your FAFSA, you say this, you say that, sometimes you can automatically do this thing where your income tax can automatically go to the FAFSA and stuff. But if not, sometimes they ask for further like documentations and stuff, and prove, like, let me have your W-2 just to prove that the numbers that you put are right. So just be careful, because you don't want to have any problem. All right. Yeah. Also too, when it comes to financial aid, you can take money that financial aid give you sometime and use that money to pay for books. Well, obviously, like, the first thing financial aid is gonna like look at is, okay, is the money that they're giving me is enough to pay for the school? If it's enough, then you gotta have leftover money. That leftover money I'm talking about, you can use to buy books. not the money that's not even paid for school and you trying to take it to buy books. Nah, nope. So yeah, so all your information is gonna be like, they're gonna give you all the information for 1 year, but they're gonna separate it, cut it in half for each semester. I know like my first semester was more than my second semester, just because first semester you pay for certain things, and second semester they don't charge you for that same thing. For example, if you're a freshman, you would get charged for orientation. Yes, you do. So that probably, I think my orientation was probably like $160 or more, I'm not sure, but so I was paying $160 more for my first semester than my second semester. So things like that you kind of have to keep in track. And also too, there's like, your school have a website where you can go and look at like the status and all the things that's going on. Make sure you just do your research and look everything. If something doesn't seem right, call Fund and Trade, call Student Account, call somebody and be like, yo, what's going on with my account? And I'm kind of confused. I don't know what is this, what is that, why do I have to pay this? Ask. It doesn't hurt to ask questions. That's why they're getting paid. It's for them to help you and answer your questions and stuff. So yeah.